Hey guys, so you can tell obviously by the title of this video, I'm going to be walking you through my new house, but I felt like I needed to first, I don't know, like do some kind of intro, maybe explaining why I decided to move, because I thought I would stay there. While making all of these decisions this year, there's been a lot of hard decisions to be making. This one was not an easy decision, obviously probably one of the harder ones. And sometimes the right decision is the hardest one to make. And so anyway, let's back it up a little bit. So when we first split this year, I wanted to make as little amount of changes for the kids as possible. I wanted to make sure they were still in the same school, had the same friends. And so as little interruption they could have, that was the goal. It was really just whatever we can do to make sure the kids are kind of like in a stable situation, as stable as they could be. So it was really that. And also, you guys know how much work has been put into our house. And I will talk about that again in just a second. But another hard thing for me was like everything in that house was my idea come to life. Now, it obviously took both of us. I didn't do any of the work. He did all of the work, but it was like any idea I had, he'd bring to life. And so leaving that place was really hard because I'm like, this is literally like, now it's to the point of like my dream house. I love this house. But again, there are hard decisions that have to be made. And when you're splitting up, you have to split everything, including the house. And so this has kind of been like a dragging out process of us going back and forth on what to do. So I wanted to keep the house. I was going to buy him out of the house. That was the original idea. And I don't know, as the months were progressing, I really felt like there was this cloud over me. I can't really describe it other than I felt like I couldn't progress. I couldn't figure out why. I felt very, it's hard to describe because it was just more of like a feeling, like a heaviness that was just there. And anytime I would leave the house or go somewhere else, I didn't feel that same way. And then I'd come home and I just like felt like I was almost being suffocated. And I know maybe that's a little dramatic, but that's kind of how I felt. And finally, at the end of August, I was like, you know what? I have never prayed about this, if this is something that I should do, and this is a huge decision, so I probably should have prayed about this at the beginning. I had just made the decision like, yep, I'm staying. But I'm like, maybe this actually isn't the right thing for me. Like maybe I need to be the one that leaves. And when I tell you the answer to that prayer was loud and clear that I needed to leave, I really didn't question it. And anytime I get answers to prayers like that, it was a very direct, like, yes, that's the right choice. You need to leave. I did not second guess. And so while on this topic, something I have learned over the last few years is when I get that clear, direct answer, between the time I make that decision and the time everything unfolds, there's going to be a million things going wrong. It's going to seem like it's the wrong answer. Like there's no way that was the right answer because crap's hitting the fan. It's pure chaos. Nothing looks like it's going to work out, but I promise you have to trust yourself that it will. And so this time it was no different. I, made this decision the very end of August, and there are really I knew I didn't want to buy a new place. I didn't want to do anything permanent. So I was looking for rentals that were pretty close because I didn't want the kids to change schools. And there was a house that went up for rent that week. And it happened to be next door to the twins' best friend and walking distance to the school that they were in. So I was like crossing my fingers that somehow it was still available. So I messaged the property managers and went through like a house tour, and there was a bunch of people there walking through it. People had already applied for the house. Again, it's really hard to find rentals, especially a whole house in the city that I live in. So again, it was wild that this place became available the time that it did, but obviously they ended up picking us. I was so grateful, so excited. I signed the lease the very beginning of September, and then between then and October 1st when I moved in, it was just pure chaos. Like it seemed like everything that could go wrong went wrong, all the way to moving day. For example, on moving day, I had boxed up the entire house by myself, and I was like, I don't want to move one more freaking box. And so I had paid a moving company. I'd never done that before, but again, I was like, I just want this to be as easy as possible. Like the moving process, I just hate moving. I hate it. That morning, I sat and waited around for the movers to show up, and 6 hours went by and nothing. So I called them and they were like, they should be there. They had an incident with one of their trucks that they were going to be using for me, so they couldn't get there. But you should have seen the amount of people that showed up. Neighbors, new neighbors from this neighborhood that I'm in, people I've never met, with their kids even, like just unloading the house, putting it in box trucks. There was 2 people that showed up with box trucks. I mean, it was literally, I can't even explain how grateful I was. I felt really helpless in the moment. And to see, again, like all these strangers, people I didn't even know, jumping to help was really, really cool. Somebody showed up with like 100 tacos, was just feeding everybody that was there, helping. There was women in the twins room putting beds together. Like, again, people I didn't even know were just so willing to help. And I think that that was just, honestly, it was, I don't know. That day makes me emotional just thinking back to like how many, I felt so frustrated in the moment. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, to just being like, I can't believe all these people I don't even know are so willing to jump in and help. It was really cool. So anyway, shoot. Anyway, if you were one of my neighbors and you were here helping, thank you. That was a really cool experience that I will never forget. Now, I don't know why I feel like I should share this too, but like if you are someone who feels like it's hard, you have a hard time discerning if you are getting an answer to a prayer, or if it's just you in your head and it's like you're coming up with the idea on your own, I feel like that's a topic that I would love to do a video on, because for a long time I struggled with discerning that, knowing if that's just my own thought or if that's an answer. And I have found there's a definite difference between the two. So again, kind of off subject, but if that's something you guys would like me to talk about, maybe make a video about, I would love to do that. Anyway, back to this video. So since moving here, it has been over 2 weeks that I've been here, and I will tell you, I feel a whole different energy here. I just feel lighter. I feel motivated. I feel like I'm getting a lot of inspiration. I just feel super, super happy. Any of my family or friends that have been like, how are you doing like in the new place? I'm like, honestly, I am so happy here. And I know it was the right decision, and I don't have any regrets about moving. Me and the kids are doing really, really good here in this house. So there's nothing I would change about it. Again, I wanted something temporary because I don't know what life will look like in a year or 6 months even. Like, who knows what life will look like. But for now, I wanted to stick around pretty close. In fact, we're close enough to the old house that we have the same trash day. But I do think that there is something to a fresh start, and I'm super grateful that I was able to get us a place like this. So that was a long-winded intro, so I'm sorry about that. I do want to say this is not a place I could ever buy. The person that owns this house will be moving back here within the next couple years. So this is not like I couldn't buy this house if I wanted to. So again, this is very temporary, but I'm sure you guys are just waiting to see what this place looks like. It is a newer home, and so very, very different than what I'm used to. And if you guys know me, you know I love little houses. Like if I could live in a tiny little cottage, maybe that was like 500 square feet, that would probably be my dream. This house is larger in square footage than my last house, and the ceilings are way taller. Like it feels just bigger. In fact, in my last house, I was trying to make the ceilings shorter than they actually were. I don't know. So it's completely different than what you're used to with me. But I hope you guys stick around for content, because I know it's gonna be very different than what you're used to. So let's jump into the house tour. All right, welcome to my new house. I think what I'll do here is share some ideas I have for the different spaces, because In no way am I done yet. In fact, I feel like I'm never really done styling areas. I'm constantly moving things and changing things around, so I still have a lot I need to do here. But this first area is obviously the entryway, and I wanted to do a little 360 here so you can see there's a big, huge closet. Again, something that I love, something I didn't have before. So I love having a place to hang our coats and put our shoes. I just love this little area as you walk into the home from the front door. On the main floor, if you go down this hall, all of the bedrooms are right here, and then there's also a main bathroom. So I will first go into the bathroom and then the kids' bedrooms. But this is, again, just really convenient, kind of similar to what we had before, where all of our bedrooms were really close together and we had one bathroom. So obviously not the exact same layout, but kind of similar. The first bedroom is Elliot and Ezra's, and we obviously have a bed problem. There was a little bit of a mix-up when moving, and so the wrong bed got brought here. We did have a bunk bed, and I don't have one now. So Ezra's been looking for a bed that he wants, and we're looking for a bunk bed. Elliot has just been sleeping with me, which he always does. I still have lots of boxes that are full of books I need to put away, but I've realized once being here that we don't have any shelves. Our last house had a ton of built-ins in basically every single room, and we are lacking that here. So I'm definitely on the hunt for some shelving and obviously some beds as well. Moving on to the twins' room, it looks pretty much the same as it did in our last house. I also love that there were 3 bedrooms right next to each other because I love the kids being close to me. So as you're coming down the hall, the master bedroom's to the left, then there's the bathroom, and then 2 additional bedrooms, kind of in like a cul-de-sac. Moving now into the master bedroom, this is massive. I ended up getting a queen bed in my last bedroom just so I could fit nightstands on either side. So it probably looks really small in this space. There's definitely some things I'll be doing in here to spruce it up a little bit, just decor. Obviously like pictures on the walls, hanging some curtains. I might get some chairs to set in this little nook area. I don't know for sure, but I will be bringing you all along with me as I make any of these changes. And then here's my little makeshift workout area. It doesn't really take much, honestly. If I'm working out at home, I just use free weights. So there's my little home gym. And then the master bath was also a really fun surprise. I feel like a big tub is every girl's dream. And Elliot thinks it's a swimming pool, so he's been having a lot of fun taking baths in here as well. Moving on to the kitchen and living area, this is such a beautiful space. I still have the bar stools from my old place and the dining room table, which was my childhood dining room table. So obviously I'm gonna make that work here. I am also loving the dark wood, which might shock some of you. Obviously, I don't have a choice here, and I'm typically changing things up immediately, which again isn't something I can do, but I'm excited to share how I will make this space my own in a rental-friendly way. I'm sure I could start some kind of series. I probably will do something like that, more directed towards rental-friendly makeovers that are temporary. For example, in the living room, I have an idea for this big blank wall where the TV is that will make a huge statement but is not permanent. So that will be a video I'll be sharing soon. there are some rooms that bring me a lot of joy that probably everybody else takes for granted, but a mudroom is one of them because I've never had one. So I love the fact that this is just right off the garage. When the kids get home from school, they just remove their backpacks, hang them right here. It's just really convenient to have a designated location to drop everything. So I love this mudroom, and then the laundry room is just right off of that. Now to the basement area, which I know a lot of people outside of Utah aren't familiar with, but this is an area I kind of just let the kids run wild with. I have my grandma's piano down here, and then obviously we are lacking furniture down here, but the kids have made this kind of their hangout spot with their friends. They brought a ton of boxes down here and even started decorating the kitchen for Halloween. So they've just been having a lot of fun with it. Again, there's a lot to do to make this look finished, but we definitely have some time to get to each of these rooms. Coming down the hall area, there's another bathroom and then 2 bedrooms. I do know this basement was finished, I think just a year ago. So I really love the tile in the bathroom. I love that tile going up in the shower. It's really, really pretty. And then the bedrooms are both really big, closer to the size of the master bedroom. It's kind of hard to tell in this video, I'm noticing, but they're really massive. I also love that they have those built-in shelving. So the kids have just been using these for their action figures. And then the closets, I should have opened these for you, but they're basically walk-in closets. So both bedrooms have, it's massive square footage in each of the rooms. The ceilings are really tall. I think they're between 10 and 12 feet, the ceilings are. So it doesn't feel like you are in a basement. And because it's above ground, you also don't feel like you're in a basement, where typically in Utah, when you're in a basement, you just have those tiny little windows where you can see above ground and it feels really dark. I guess in this front bedroom, this one's underground. You can tell when you look out the window that you're underground in this bedroom. But again, lots of space, really tall ceilings, doesn't feel like a basement. One of the last areas I need to share is this loft upstairs. So originally I thought that I would turn this into the kids' game room, but after one day of hearing a bunch of preteen boys echoing through the whole house, I decided the basement was a better option. So this room is still yet to be decided. One thing that Elliot does every morning is he will run up these stairs and bang on the window and wave to the kids as they walk to school. And I don't know why, because we have a lot of windows in the main area that he could be knocking on, but for some reason he loves to come up here and do it. So again, if you guys have some ideas of what you think we could do up here, I was kind of thinking it'd be fun for like an adult hangout area, like bring a TV up here, some couches, like a lounge area, but for like adults, like when adults come over, like that's where we hang out. That's kind of where my mind's going as of right now. But yeah, if you guys have some ideas, I'd love to hear them in the comments. And the very last area I have to share is this covered deck. So this is right off of the kitchen. And this was a dream to have a giant deck like this that's covered. The views are so beautiful. I find myself out here almost every single night. But honestly, this home is more than anything I could have dreamed to have for me and the kids. It's crazy to see how much has changed this year. Never in a million years did I imagine myself anywhere else but the home that we had been in for the last almost 9 years. But I'm super grateful for this new home and this new chapter, and I can't wait to see where this journey takes me.